Although the Earth's crust can be thin in some places under the ocean, sometimes reaching only 5 kilometers, scientists have not yet been able to surpass this distance. If we imagine the Earth as a boiled egg, we have not even reached the egg white. However, this has not stopped competition among nations and continuous attempts to dig to greater depths. Welcome to our channel. In this video we will answer about what is the deepest hole in the world of all time. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share the video to be part of our journey. On October 4, 1957, the Soviet Union ignited the space race by successfully launching the Sputnik 1 satellite. As expected during the Cold War, the United States had to respond. Walter Heinrich Munk, an American physicist and oceanographer, proposed that the United States should be the first to reach the Earth's mantle. Congress approved funding for the project, which was named Project Borehole, after the Croatian seismologist Andrija Mohorović, who was the first to map the Earth's crust and areas of seismic activity. Based on studies by Mohorović and other scientists, it was determined that the Earth's crust is at its thinnest under the oceans rather than on land. According to this data, the best location for drilling was identified as Guadalupe Island in the Pacific Ocean near Mexico. Drilling began using the research vessel Kola, but as work progressed, it became clear that the studies were insufficient. Major and costly challenges emerged, tripling the project's estimated cost. As a result, funding was cut, and the project was cancelled after reaching a depth of only 809 meters. However, the project significantly advanced understanding of the oceanic crust, ship stabilization techniques without anchors, and mechanisms for extracting mud and rocks from deep layers, developments that aided subsequent drilling experiments. The ESCUBE Neutrino Observatory is a facility designed to detect subatomic particles from space. Since neutrinos are electrically neutral and almost massless, they are unaffected by the Earth's magnetic field. Because of this, they can pass through the Earth's crust at speeds higher than scientists can detect. To maximize their chances of capturing these particles before they escape the crust, scientists selected a site in Antarctica for an underground observatory beneath the ice. The observatory was built at a cost of $279 million, and a hole 2,820 meters deep was drilled. After the failure of Project Borehole in the 1960s due to engineering difficulties, many nations turned to land-based drilling projects. Even though the continental crust is at least 6 times thicker than the oceanic crust, drilling on land was considered a more feasible approach. However, Japan made another attempt at deep-sea drilling. On November 16, 2007, Japan launched a project aimed at reaching a depth of 5,200 meters beneath the ocean. The location chosen was the Nankai Trough in the northern Philippine Sea, where tectonic plates meet and cause frequent, devastating earthquakes. Japanese researchers hoped the drilling would help them understand hydrothermal vents and earthquake-generating zones. To achieve this goal, Japan built a specialized research vessel named Chikyu. Over 10 years, numerous technological challenges arose. In the end, the Japanese uncharacteristically gave up at a depth of 3,262 meters due to repeated collapses that forced them to restart multiple times. After spending $55 million, drilling was temporarily halted. However, the Chikyu remains operational and continues conducting excavation and research at various locations. The KTB borehole in Bavaria, Germany, was a deep drilling project initiated by the German government between 1987 and 1995. Its goal was to study the properties of the continental crust. Drilling stopped when temperatures reached 260 degrees Celsius, but the project yielded many fascinating discoveries. For example, scientists learned that the Earth's crust is more dynamic than previously thought, leading to improved drilling techniques. However, excessive gas emissions and an unexpectedly high presence of metamorphic rocks led to the project's cancellation after an expenditure of about $308 million. The final depth reached was 9,101 meters. Despite this, the deep borehole was later used to install one of Europe's most important seismic observatories. In a short time, it also became a major tourist attraction. Bertha Rogers, the deepest man-made hole in the United States, held the record as the deepest hole in the world. From 1974 to 1979, this borehole was a natural gas well drilled by the German company Lone Star in 1972. It took less than 2 years to set a world record for the deepest depth ever reached by humans. However, despite its fame, it was considered a commercial failure because its gas output was far lower than expected. Some even described it as a dry, extremely deep hole. The project was abandoned in 1979 after reaching a sulfur-rich layer that caused drill bits to melt and break. The final depth achieved before its closure was 9,583 meters. Despite not being the deepest hole ever drilled, the Kola Superdeep Borehole is undoubtedly the most famous. For about 20 years, it held the title of the deepest point ever reached by humans in the Earth's crust. The Kola borehole was named after the Kola Peninsula, located on the borders of Russia, Norway, and Finland. The Soviet government initiated the project to compete with American drilling efforts. Over time, rumors spread about the borehole, leading some to call it the well to hell. Despite its staggering depth, the borehole's opening was only 23 centimeters wide. In 1994, officials sealed the borehole after it reached a depth of 12,262 meters. The Al Shaheen oil field is one of the largest oil and gas fields in the Arabian Gulf, located near the Qatari capital, Doha. Since its inception in 1994, the field has grown to include 300 wells that produce approximately 100 million barrels of oil annually, about 45% of Qatar's total oil production. In May 2008, the Danish company Maersk Oil drilled a well in the field, named BDO4A. This well surpassed the Kola Superdeep Borehole as the deepest man-made hole in history. It reached a depth of approximately 12,290 meters, exceeding the Kola borehole by 27 meters. However, BDO4A only held the title for 3 years, from 2008 to 2011. The Odopta well on Russia's Sakhalin Island in the Pacific Ocean is one of the most unusual deep boreholes. It was drilled by the American company ExxonNeftegas, which shattered all previous drilling records. The Odopta well reached a depth of 12,345 meters, surpassing BDO4A by 55 meters. What was even more impressive was the speed of the drilling. It was completed in just 60 days. However, it only remained the deepest borehole for about a year and a half. Z40 Frchevo is the deepest hole ever drilled by humans. It claimed the record on August 27, 2012, surpassing the Odopta well. Like its predecessor, Z40 Frchevo is located on Sakhalin Island and was also drilled by ExxonNeftegas. The final depth of this borehole is 12,376 meters. Thus, we have answered this question: which is the deepest hole on the surface of the Earth? We remind you not to forget to subscribe, like and share this video to be part of our exciting journey.